they had set up this little ambush where they had one guy at either end of the block and these 3 guys standing on the stoop with their knives open and up their sleeve. It was late at night, and it was the night before Thanksgiving, so the city was really empty. And this guy turns the corner, and he starts to walk down the block, and the lookouts get the go-ahead. 3 guys stand up and start walking towards him, and he has his key out. He puts it in the door, and he goes inside the lobby, and he shuts the door behind him, and they're locked out. And see, he goes upstairs, and he gets undressed, and he goes to bed, and he never knows what just didn't happen to him. I'm the next guy. Ed Galkin was a normal guy, with a normal business, leading a normal life, until he wasn't. A victim of gang violence, Ed wrestles with the senselessness of the crime and the emotional manifestations of the PTSD he now suffers. In this story, he shares his emotional reactions and vulnerably shares his thoughts about a journey that is an embodiment of Desmond Tutu's words, "When we make others the enemy, we risk becoming what we hate. When we oppress others, we end up oppressing ourselves. All of our humanity is dependent upon recognizing the humanity in others." Victim's Impact and What Doesn't Kill You by Ed Galkin. You never think you're going to be the guy whose whole life changes forever because you choose to walk down one side of the street instead of the other. You wake up in the morning, you get dressed, you put on your clothes, you go out into the world, and you feel like you're going to come back. Get undressed, go to sleep, get dressed again, do it again. That rhythm creates the framework that you use to create a life, and you make plans and you count on continuity. And one day I woke up and I wasn't wearing any of my own clothes. I had 2 chest tubes, a hose going down my nose. I had a catheter, a morphine drip. I woke into this fog of pain. It felt like I'd broken through the ice into some lake of frozen hurt. At the end of my bed, I could see the surgeon who had spent all night trying to save my life. And he was holding my foot, and next to him were 2 homicide detectives. And let me tell you, when you have 2 homicide detectives explaining to you what happened the night before, they wheeled me into the emergency trauma room at St. Vincent's Hospital with multiple stab wounds from 3 different knives. One of them was 10 inches long. They had to give me 2 complete blood transfusions to keep me in place until they could do the surgery. And they took out organs I didn't even know I had, and up to 1/3 of my intestines, and I was conscious up until they put me out for surgery. People would say things like, "You're fine, get over it, man. You just gotta get yourself together and move on with your life." And that made me want to stab them 6 times and come back to them 6 months later and say, "So, how's it working out for you? You know, like, you got any advice for me now? Because I could really use some help from someone that just knows what I'm going through." Second thing people tended to say was, "Everything happens for a reason." And that made me want to punch them in the face and ask them if they knew the reason for that. The third thing people tended to say, which was very well-meaning but completely unhelpful, was, "Whatever doesn't kill you just makes you stronger." Whatever doesn't kill me just hurts me more. I felt like I was actually broken. There were things in this life that could just break you, and not only you wouldn't be stronger, but you would never have again what you had before. The DA called. They wanted me to make a victim's impact statement. Let these criminals know how they had impacted my life. I had gotten 1 good punch in. I knocked out the middle guy, and that's how they had these 5 guys in custody. So I agree. I'll do it. And I think I'm gonna write down all of my anger, all of my hurt, and express to this punk how he destroyed my health, my sense of business, my sense of safety. I could walk down the street without something bad happening to me. This punk destroyed everything. I walk out onto West Park Avenue and I see this impeccable suit walking by. His hair perfectly coiffed, Hermes tie knotted, shoes shined. I just feel this rage at him. I just want to tackle him and kneel on his chest and punch him in the face and go, you're not good. You're just lucky, man. You think all that you know, all of your assumptions are keeping you where you are. You're just lucky. Because one day you could lose it all in an instant. I don't do it. But I realize I've just wanted to hurt an innocent human being to prove what is wrong with my life. I've become like the kids who stabbed me. It's an incredible feeling to feel like you're not who you once were. That you're descending down into this place of bitterness and despair, from which there's no way out. I have to do something new. I can't stay here. I have to do something. There is something. There is something I can do. So I'm in court. And they bring this guy in, and he's just a little guy. I'm not even old enough to buy cigarettes at the bodega, and bring him in, and I go, on that night, you wanted to kill someone you didn't even know. And the penalty for murder in New York City, which is what you were trying to do, is 25 years to life. But I didn't die. And that means not only do you get to listen to me, but that means the most you can go to prison for is 10 years for attempted murder. I think 25 years to life is what you should be prepared to deal with, but you owe me one. You owe me a favor, because one day you're going to get out of prison 15 years early, because I didn't die. I want you to remember today. I want you to remember you've got a second chance. I expect you to make the best of that chance. And I will too.